What if everything you've been told about car maintenance is costing you thousands of dollars and quietly destroying your engine? I'm about to expose 10 maintenance lies that the automotive industry doesn't want you to know. These aren't minor mistakes. These are engine-killing habits that dealerships, quick lube shops, and even your owner's manual might be pushing on you right now. From that 3,000-mile oil change myth to the lifetime transmission fluid lie, these mistakes are emptying your wallet while mechanics count their profits. But here's the good news. Once you understand what's really happening under your hood, you'll save thousands in unnecessary maintenance and extend your engine's life by years. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know more about protecting your engine than most mechanics. Let's dive in. Mistake number 1. The 3,000-mile oil change scam. You've probably been told since you got your first car, change your oil every 3,000 miles or your engine will explode. Quick lube shops plaster this number everywhere, and it's become automotive gospel. But here's the dirty secret. This recommendation was outdated 20 years ago, and following it is actually costing you thousands while creating unnecessary waste. Modern synthetic oils and engine technology have completely changed the game. Your Ford F-150 EcoBoost doesn't need oil changes every 3,000 miles. Ford's own engineering specs say 7,500 to 10,000 miles with synthetic. According to Blackstone Labs, quality synthetic oil maintains its protective properties well beyond 3,000 miles. Follow your owner's manual intervals for synthetic oil, which typically range from 7,500 to 10,000 miles for normal driving. If you tow heavy loads or drive in extreme conditions, stick to the severe service schedule around 5,000 miles. By extending your oil changes to proper intervals, you'll save $300 to $600 per year. Over a decade of ownership, that's $3,000 to $600 back in your pocket without compromising engine protection. But if that shocked you about oil changes, wait until you hear what's really happening with your coolant system. This next mistake could cost you a complete engine replacement. Mistake number 2. Ignoring coolant flushes, the silent engine killer. Most people think coolant is colored water that keeps your engine from overheating. They figure as long as the reservoir looks full, everything's fine. But here's the kicker. Old coolant becomes acidic and corrosive, silently eating away at your engine from the inside out. Coolant is a carefully engineered chemical mixture that prevents corrosion, lubricates the water pump, and protects aluminum and steel components. Over time, these additives break down. The pH level drops from a protective 10.5 down to a destructive 7.0 or lower, turning your coolant into a corrosive acid. According to automotive engineering studies, approximately 60% of engine failures are cooling system related. Corroded radiators, destroyed water pumps, and blown head gaskets can all be traced back to degraded coolant. Flush and replace your coolant every 30,000 miles or every 5 years, whichever comes first. Use the correct coolant type for your vehicle, Motorcraft for Ford, Dexcool for GM, or whatever your manufacturer specifies. A proper flush costs $200 to $250, but prevents $3,000 to $5,000 in cooling system repairs. And if coolant neglect is bad, the next one might already be destroying your transmission without you even knowing it. Mistake number 3. Believing the lifetime transmission fluid. Lie, you've probably heard it from dealerships. This transmission has lifetime fluid, it never needs changing. But here's what they don't tell you. Lifetime means the warranty period, not the life of your vehicle. And this lie has destroyed more transmissions than anything else. Automatic transmission fluid breaks down from heat, friction, and contamination. Every shift generates heat and microscopic clutch material that contaminates the fluid. By 60,000 miles, that lifetime fluid is dark brown, smells burnt, and is filled with metal particles. According to transmission rebuild specialists, approximately 70% of automatic transmission failures could have been prevented with proper fluid maintenance. When the fluid degrades, clutches slip, overheat, and eventually fail catastrophically. Replacement cost? Anywhere from $3,500 to $5,000 for a rebuild. Change your transmission fluid at 50,000 miles, then every 50,000 miles after that. Use only the manufacturer's specified fluid. A proper transmission fluid exchange costs $150 to $200. Compare that to a $3,500 transmission rebuild. Over 200,000 miles, you'll spend maybe $600 on fluid changes but save $2,700 to $4,200 by avoiding a rebuild. But if you think neglecting fluid changes is bad, wait until you hear about the product that mechanics themselves refuse to use on their own vehicles. If you're finding this information valuable, hit that like button to help other car owners discover these truths. Mistake number 4. Using engine flush products, the $5,000 mistake. You've seen them at every auto parts store, bottles of engine flush promising to clean sludge and deposits, but here's the reality. Engine flush products can dislodge large chunks of sludge that block oil passages, starve bearings, and destroy engines in minutes. Major manufacturers including Ford, Toyota, and Mazda specifically warn against using chemical engine flushes. When old sludge breaks loose in large pieces, it can block oil pickup screens and VVT solenoids. This causes sudden oil starvation to critical components. The result? A $5,000 to $8,000 engine rebuild from a $20 bottle of miracle cleaner. If you've purchased a vehicle with questionable maintenance history, switch to a high-quality full synthetic oil like Mobil 1 or Pennzoil Platinum and change it at 3,000-mile intervals for the first 2 or 3 changes. This allows the superior detergents in synthetic oil to gradually dissolve deposits without the shock of chemical flushes. A high-mileage vehicle that gets quality synthetic every 5,000 miles will clean itself gradually and safely. And speaking of oil, the next mistake involves something as routine as checking your oil level, but getting it wrong can destroy your engine in hours. Mistake number 5. Overfilling engine oil, the turbo killer. Most people think more oil is better protection. After all, low oil is dangerous, so extra oil must be safer, right? Dead wrong. Overfilling engine oil creates catastrophic problems that can destroy your engine in hours. When you overfill the oil, the spinning crankshaft counterweights start slapping into the oil, creating aeration, essentially whipping the oil into a frothy foam. This aerated oil has almost no lubricating ability because it's full of air bubbles. The turbo death sentence is even worse. Turbocharged engines have an oil return passage from the turbocharger to the oil pan. When you overfill the oil and the crankshaft aerates it, oil can't drain properly from the turbo. The turbocharger literally floods with oil, blowing out seals and bearings. Turbo replacements cost $1,500 to $3,000. Always check oil on level ground with the engine cold. The oil level should be between the MIN and max marks on the dipstick. Anywhere in that range is perfect. You won't believe how the next mistake, something millions of people do every single morning, is causing more engine damage than almost anything else on this list. Mistake number 6. Revving a cold engine, 100 miles of wear in 10 seconds. You jump in your truck on a cold winter morning, fire it up, and immediately rev the engine to warm it up faster. Here's what you need to understand. Every cold rev does more damage than 100 miles of normal driving. When your engine sits overnight, oil drains down into the pan. On startup, it takes 15 to 30 seconds for oil pressure to reach all the critical components. At cold temperatures, engine oil can be 10 times thicker than at operating temperature. When you increase RPM, you exponentially increase the forces on bearings, pistons, and valves. Cold oil can't flow fast enough to protect these components. Engineers estimate that one cold rev to 4,000 RPM causes as much bearing wear as 100 miles of normal highway driving. Start the engine and let it idle for 30 to 60 seconds, long enough for oil pressure to stabilize. Don't touch the throttle. Then drive normally but gently, keeping RPM below 3,000 until the coolant temperature gauge reaches at least 140 degrees Fahrenheit. But here's where it gets even crazier. The next mistake is the exact opposite, and it's just as destructive. Subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on more money-saving automotive insights. Mistake number 7. Warming up your car for 10 minutes. You've probably been told to let your car idle for 5, 10, or even 15 minutes before driving, especially in winter. But here's the reality. Extended idling is one of the worst things you can do to a modern engine. Modern engines with electronic fuel injection warm up twice as fast under light driving load than they do idling. When an engine is under load, combustion temperatures increase and components expand to proper tolerances faster. Idling keeps everything in a lukewarm state where fuel doesn't burn completely, leading to carbon buildup on intake valves and spark plugs. The carbon buildup problem is especially severe in direct injection engines. Carbon buildup from incomplete combustion accumulates on intake valves, reduces airflow, causes rough idle and misfires, and eventually requires a $500 to $800 walnut blasting service. Start your engine, wait 30 seconds for oil pressure to stabilize, then drive gently. Keep RPM under 3,000 until the engine reaches operating temperature. Your engine will warm up in 3 to 5 minutes of driving versus 10 to 15 minutes of idling. Over 10 years of ownership, you'll save approximately $2,500 to $3,000 in wasted fuel and potentially avoid a $500 to $800 carbon cleaning service. And speaking of habits that cost a fortune, The next one involves something you should be checking weekly but are probably getting completely wrong. Mistake number 8. Using sidewall max PSI for tire pressure. You're at the gas station and you look at the tire sidewall where it says max PSI 44. You figure that's the recommended pressure, so you fill all 4 tires to that number. This mistake is costing you hundreds in premature tire wear and creating a safety hazard. Here's what that sidewall number actually means. It's the maximum cold pressure the tire can safely handle at its maximum load rating. It's an engineering limit, not a recommendation. Running your tires at maximum pressure causes the center of the tread to wear out prematurely. You'll get maybe 30,000 miles out of tires rated for 60,000 miles. But underinflation is equally dangerous. Running tires 20% below recommended pressure increases rolling resistance, generates excessive heat that can lead to blowouts, and causes the shoulders of the tread to wear out. The correct tire pressure is listed on a sticker inside your driver's door jamb, not on the tire sidewall. For most passenger vehicles, this is typically 32 to 35 psi. Check pressure monthly when tires are cold using a quality digital gauge. Over the life of a set of tires, proper pressure can save you $600 to $1,200 in premature replacements and $200 to $300 in wasted fuel. But if tire pressure seems like a minor detail, wait until you see what ignoring one specific warning light can cost you. Mistake number 9. Ignoring the check engine light. The check engine light comes on, and you think the car's still running fine, so it's probably a sensor. This is one of the most expensive mistakes you can make. That little orange light is an early warning system, and ignoring it transforms minor repairs into catastrophic failures. Here's the cascading failure effect. Let's say your check engine light comes on for a misfiring cylinder. Left unaddressed, that misfire sends unburned fuel into the catalytic converter, which overheats and melts. Now you've gone from a $50 spark plug to a $1,300 catalytic converter replacement. When your check engine light comes on, get the code read within 24 to 48 hours. Most auto parts stores will scan codes for free. Write down the code number and research what it means. Catching problems early typically costs $200 to $400 for diagnosis and repair. Waiting until the problem cascades costs $800 to $1,500 on average. That's a $500 to $1,200 savings from not procrastinating. But even the best diagnostic system won't help you if you're making the final mistake on this list, one that guarantees your engine won't reach half its potential lifespan. Mistake number 10. Skipping scheduled maintenance. You've heard about scheduled maintenance, those service intervals listed in your owner's manual. Oil changes, filter replacements, fluid flushes, it all adds up fast, and it's tempting to skip non-essential services. But here's the mathematical reality. Preventive maintenance has an exponential return on investment. According to data from automotive service platforms, the average cost of preventive maintenance for the first 25,000 miles is approximately $1,400. Over that same period, vehicles without preventive maintenance average $7,600 in reactive repairs. That's a 545% return on investment. Critical maintenance items people skip include differential fluid changes every 30,000 to 50,000 miles, spark plugs every 60,000 to 100,000 miles, and timing belt replacement every 60,000 to 100,000 miles. The 100,000-mile service typically includes timing belt inspection, spark plug replacement, transmission fluid change, coolant flush, and differential service. This service costs $800 to $1,500, but prevents at least $5,000 to $10,000 in potential failures. Vehicles with complete service records have 70 to 90% lower major repair costs over 10 years. They maintain resale value 15 to 25% better than poorly maintained examples. Most importantly, they reach 200,000 to 300,000 plus miles with original engine and transmission, while neglected vehicles often need major repairs by 100,000 miles. Scheduled maintenance saves you thousands in avoided repairs and gives you a vehicle that can reach 300,000 plus miles. Don't let short-term thinking cost you long-term reliability. Take care of your engine, and it'll take care of you for hundreds of thousands of miles. If you found this information helpful, make sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss another money-saving automotive tip. Your engine will thank you.